So basically the podcast is, it's called NJ Talks.
Okay.
It's, I created it because I wanted to bring a space for a lot of like people here in New Jersey who are doing really cool things. I feel like there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. Yeah, a lot of unique people. They're just, it's like what you told me about your shirt. The first thing I saw, it says Jesus is King. Some people will like it, some people won't. I feel like it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. It's the same thing with network marketing.
Right.
Same thing with real estate. Same thing with every industry.
Yeah.
And this is Nick Scinto. Met him a long time ago, a couple years back. You know, he's one of those people like you meet. I met him and I was just impressed. First of all, he was very professional. He looked just like a super neat guy. Like he just like made an impression upon me. And I followed his journey through so many years through social media. He's here today, and I'm so excited because this is a person that can offer a lot of value to all people that are watching. I created this space because I wanted to like bring people together that are super unique, super ambitious, super like, if you have his phone number one day, maybe you could share it at the end.
Yeah.
Get in contact if you want to work with him. You will see him on WhatsApp just posting really cool content all the time, all over social media. But I love the WhatsApp because it's very personable. I go in there and I'm just like, wow, like you spit bars.
Awesome.
There's one thing you posted.
Appreciate the kind words.
I just wanted to get this out the way. There's one thing you posted, and I saved it in my notes. And it was actually just a quick quote. It was somebody else's, but I loved it. It said, the unfortunate reality is most people go harder for their favorite sports team than they do on their own life. And I was like, yo, that's hard. But Nick, if you could, just tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, like, you know, growing up, are you from New Jersey? Like, can you tell us a little bit about your backstory? Yeah.
Do you want me to focus on you, camera?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, okay. So I was born in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. I don't say I'm from Brooklyn because I was there till I was 5. So I didn't really experience Brooklyn like some people did. But we moved to Denville, New Jersey, when I was 5, 6 years old. And growing up, I guess if the idea of the podcast is to help people grow and kind of build belief, I think that people's belief is most often built through stories. Yeah. And hearing a story of somebody that they can relate to. So I do think it's the most important part is when you if you're ever reading books or if you're following somebody, you should find out about their backstory, because somebody could write something and say something in a certain way where you might think, I can never do that. I can never act that way. I can never, be that type of person. But if you heard their story of how they were before they got there, then it could change everything for you. Because so many people, like anyone that's gotten here has dealt with a lot of stuff here. So for me, when I was growing up, I was always very shy, very introverted. I had no people skills. Like even just a conversation like this, I mean, I don't think it ever really went away for me, but like some people are afraid of speaking in front of a room. I was uncomfortable just talking to people in general. Okay. So I was that way for my whole life through high school. High school, I was the kid that you saw in lunch that sat by himself. And there were many of the lunches, I wouldn't even go to lunch. I would go to the nurse's office and just go to sleep. That's how bad it was. I had a few friends, like the friends I had were very close, because it wasn't, I did not get along with people because I was a bad person. It was just something in my mind, whatever happened, or whether it was an experience or what, just that kind of, I guess, low self-esteem, shy, whatever it was. So that's how I was living my life. So when I got out of high school, low confidence, not knowing what I wanted to do. I went to county college. I dropped out. I was working in warehouses after that, loading, unloading trucks. And in between the warehouses and my next phase in life was in the kitchen. I read a book called Think and Grow Rich, which if you self-develop.
How old were you when you read this book?
So I graduated high school, 18. I would say I think I was 19 years old.
Cool.
Yeah. So 18, 19 years old, maybe 20, somewhere in that. Yeah, I guess, because I went to county college for 2 years. So it was after I dropped out already. So it was, probably around 20 years old. And that book, it changed everything because it started kind of my path to believing that I didn't have to be the person that I was.
And be a lot more.
Exactly. So it's so crazy because I'm reading through that book. Me and my one friend, we used to party not just every weekend, but like every day. So we'd always be on the phone, like, what's the next thing? Where are we going tonight? And I'll never forget the moment where I was on the phone with him and I told him, I was like, I'm not going out tonight. I got to finish reading this book. And that was a defining moment because I chose the party life. I chose the book over the party lifestyle. And the party lifestyle was such a big part of my life because the only time I felt comfortable in my own skin was when I was partying.
Yeah.
You
when
know,
that alcohol gets in you,
exactly,
that liquid courage.
Right.
Okay.
So that was big for me. So I was reading that book, but just reading a book doesn't change. It could put you on a new path, but it's not necessarily going to change you as a person. But what it did for me in that moment is, again, I started to believe, and ironically, I was always a hard worker, but I was lazy when I was not working. So if I was at work, I was the hardest worker. If I wasn't working, I was sleeping or laying in bed. So I read that book, and the next day, somewhere along that process, I was watching the Food Network for no reason at all. Just, it was on TV, I had it on. And it was the book mixed with this belief that I could do something more. So I never had cooked in my life, but I was like, there was kind of like this moment where I was like, wow, I'm going to try that.
I love that.
So I decided to go into cooking, and I went to school in Italy, which was cool, but I was the worst in the class by far. I'll never forget at the end of the schooling, it was a 6-month program, part in New York, part in Italy. And the chef was shaking everyone's hand and he was congratulating them. And then I got there, I'm like the last kid. He just puts his hand on my shoulder and he's like, Nick, practice. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So I went from like this book that I read that was building my belief, tried something new, boom, boom, boom. And I kept going through. I knew I was the worst in the class, but like when someone else basically tells you without you knowing it, it brings you back down. So after I left school, I got a job in a local restaurant in Denville. And I took a job as a dishwasher. So all the other kids, they were like at these fancy restaurants, fine dining, doing their thing. And my self-esteem dropped again. So I took a job as a dishwasher. Fortunately, though, so little by little, worked my way up. I was doing salads, and then this one new chef came in, and he saw something in me, so he brought me to the saute line, and then he left, and I became the head guy there.
Cool. Just
through that, again, a lot of it was through work and practice and failure, and then just kind of going through that process. But I ended up there, and then this is a really long story.
It's okay.
Too much.
No. Usually we go.
So
good.
yeah. So
I want everything.
Yeah. So I worked my way up there. And then a girl I went to high school with had contacted me about an opening in a fine dining restaurant. Got to that restaurant, was the worst again, but through the process of working my way up, I became sous chef there. And it got to that point where now even though I still had somewhat of a low self-esteem, I had this solid belief system that if you work at something, eventually you could become good at it and you could actually grow into being passionate for it. But as passionate as I got about cooking, I had a thought that I knew I wanted to be a father someday. And I knew I had a really good example from my dad. I knew I wanted to be a present father. And that industry, it's very difficult to be present, right, as a father and be successful in it, right? Being like fine dining chef, traveling the world, I was like, you know what? I got to make a change. And the next thing you know, one of my good friends, it's his wife now, it's his girlfriend at the time, she told me about the company I'm with now. And I was like, you know what? I got to try something.
And that company's Primerica.
Correct.
And what age did you join Primerica?
25.
25.
Yeah.
You know what's cool that you say about it's hard to be a present father in the industry, which is the cooking industry, the restaurant business.
Yep.
I didn't see my father for 21 years because he was at a restaurant.
Wow.
I started seeing my father day to day when we opened up our pizzeria when I was 21.
Wow.
And he was, I think, 39, 40.
Yeah.
And we worked there until to this day, 2018. The pizzeria is still there.
Wow.
And it's going strong. I still help out every now and then, but I know what you're saying about that. It's hard.
Yeah.
Unless it's like your own business.
Yeah.
Like I think that's where you're kind of getting to.
Right.
Where you can delegate your own business, your own people, you grow your own team.
Exactly.
And that's what you have at Primerica, right?
Correct.
So
100%.
For the people that don't really know what that is, do you mind explaining what Primerica is, like the benefits of it, how you can offer services to people?
Yeah. So our mission statement is to help families basically become financially free, right? So we help them get out of debt.
Sorry, hold that thought. Oh, did I press the record button?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, Nick, if you could just give us a little tell us what like Primerica is all about, like how you can offer services, help out everybody else that's watching this right now.
Yeah, 100%. So so the mission statement is to help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. Okay. And the cool thing about our company is there's really two ways to go about it. Okay. You can join the company, get financial licenses, and help people basically financial game plan, retirement, college savings, insurances, really getting out of debt, anything you could think of financially, you can help people with that when you get licensed with us. Okay. So that's cool, but the challenge with that is, you're still trading time for money. Okay. So the other option, and a lot of people do it and they do really well and they develop a big book of clients and they make money off residuals from investments, the whole deal. And it's a cool process. But for me, the other Primerica is kind of where I'm focused, where you can teach people to help others and teach people to set up these financial game plans for other people. So a lot of people look at our mission statement, even reps in the company, and they see help people become financially free. And you could do that by setting a financial game plan up for someone, right? You can sit down, it's called your FIN number, your financial independence number. Everybody has one. Everyone's is different depending on their lifestyle.
I remember that.
Yeah. It's the amount of money that you need saved to be able to retire comfortably. So for most people, unfortunately, they're going to go through their life not dreaming big. But most people, if they don't ever get a financial coach, they're going to be working. How many times do we see people at Walmart, Target, Wendy's, McDonald's?
The worst is like the older people seeing them there. I'm like, wow.
It breaks your heart, right? But I see when you start to pay attention more, you see the people that are there that are our age, and you can almost tell that they're going to be there or doing something like it till they're 70, 80. Because they're not going to come across someone, or they might come across someone, but they're not going to be open to listen. Right? So all that said, though, so you could sit down and help someone become financially free by showing them how to invest and save and the whole deal. That's great. And it's going to help a lot of people that maybe would have been working in Wendy's or whatever it may be for such a long period of time till they're 80, 90 years old because they didn't plan for retirement. So they had to get a part-time job because they didn't have enough money. But if you can show them their financial independence number, show them how to get there, you can help them attain financial freedom when they're 50, 60 by saving and investing.
And when somebody like somebody is interested in what you're doing, they're like, hey, Nick, I would love for you to be my financial coach. You come, you give them that financial independence number. And they see that number. Like, what do you usually see? What these people see? Like,
good question.
Like,
very good question.
You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
So the start of the process is like, you don't just necessarily give someone a number. You have to find out what the number is. And you find it out by, it's kind of like a personal trainer. A bad personal trainer, you would show up to the gym and he would say, here's your diet plan, here's your workout plan.
Or he's fat.
Or he's fat, right? A good personal trainer, what they would say is, okay, why are you here today? All right, do you want to gain muscle? Do you want to lose weight? Are you here for mental clarity, right? They would find, okay, why are you here? Is it because you want to look good on the beach? Do you have a wedding coming? Like, why? They get all these questions to why you're here. And then they learn about you, they learn about your body type, and then you meet them a second time, and they show you exactly what you need to eat and exactly what you need to do to work out to get there. We do the same thing. We'll sit down with someone, okay, when do you want to retire? Why do you want to retire at that age? What do you want your life to look like? Okay. And then the good thing is you don't have to be good at math or numbers to do what I do by any means. The computer does it. Through that conversation, we get their financial independence number. And let's just say somebody sees the number $2 million. What do you think most people say when they see that number? Majority of people, the average person would be like, oh, I don't know.
Like, oh, that's too much. It's crazy.
So they would nudge their spouse. See, I told you we're going to be working forever, this whole deal.
It's one of those things.
Most people don't believe it. So, but what's really cool about it is people are closer to that number than they think. Most people can't buy into 2 million, but when we show them the next page, hey, as long as you're investing this amount of money and you're averaging this rate of return on your money, you're going to have 2 million by the time you're there. And now people are like, where do I get that rate of return? And I'll say, well, one place is your 401k. Do you know what you're earning do you know what type of interest rate you're earning in your 401k? Nobody has any idea. And that's the problem, because they could be at 6 or 7%. And the difference, if you're earning 6 or 7% rate of return on your money versus 8 or 9 or 10, the difference that you have to save each month is like double. It's crazy. Instead of needing to do 300 to get there, you got to do 600, 700. So it's no wonder people don't get there, because they don't know how they're invested.
Exactly.
But people, if you could show them they only need 300, even if they can't buy into 2 million, they can be like, well, wait, I can do that. And now all of a sudden you uncover, now they believe, and that's the first step.
You break it down for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's it called? It's kind of the same thing. Like, people don't realize how much of a difference the interest rates make.
Yeah.
When it comes to real estate, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, it's just an extra percentage. I mean, it makes a difference. But I mean, the best time to plant a tree, it was like 10 years ago. The next best time is today. So it's kind of the same thing with like your mindset, getting into a new business, getting a financial coach. I've been learning a lot recently. I'm a little ashamed to say this, but like about our IRAs a lot more now. Yeah. Like what you can do with it, because in regards to real estate, right? Like pulling money out and stuff like that. Yeah. I feel like that's a big topic right now, especially when I look on social media. The time that I do go on social media, IRAs. Like, you mind just giving me a quick example of like which one would be better? Yeah. A lot of people see them and they're like, okay, cool. I know I need to invest into an IRA. Yeah. Like, it'll make me a millionaire over a course of 30, 40 years. Right. Whatever the case may be. But like, what's best or what's better or for who?
So most people know what a 401k is. Yeah. Okay. So if we start there, it'll help people understand what the others are better. So a 401k is, you invest through your job, the retirement plan through your job. And the money's tax deferred, which means as it grows, you don't pay tax on the money while it's growing. With a 401k, in the traditional sense, when you pull the money out, though, you pay taxes. Yeah. Still way better than not, putting it in a bank where it's not really growing, right? The whole deal, you're going to make a lot more money in a 401k than a lot of other places, but there's better ways to do it than a traditional 401k. It depends on the goal too, right? Yeah. So you go from 401k to traditional IRA. Traditional IRA is the same thing as a 401k. You don't pay taxes now on the money, you pay taxes at the end, right? So the money that goes in there, again, it grows tax deferred, but when you pull the money out of a traditional IRA, you pay taxes. With a Roth IRA, that's a little bit different. That's money that's already been taxed. So when you put money in what's called a Roth IRA, the money grows tax-free, and also when you pull it out, it's tax-free. So you're looking at the difference. If you put, let's just say you put $10,000 in a traditional IRA, and it grew to $100,000. What are you actually pulling out of that? $70,000.
Yeah, because it's taxes down.
Put $10,000 in a Roth, grows to $100,000. What do you pull out? $100,000. Right. So it's like, and then if you scale out, if you look at $1 million and you're pulling out $700,000, or $1 million and pulling out $1 million.
Yeah. So there's already tax when you put it in. Okay.
Yeah, and then the IRA. I mean, you can have an IRA at the bank. You could do a regular savings account and put it in an IRA.
That was my next question. Anybody can kind of like open up an IRA, right? Without like being employed by.
Yeah. So the Roth IRA has some limits. Like if you earn too much money, you can't do a Roth IRA. But you can technically, there's a loophole where you can put money into a traditional IRA if you're over the income limit. And then from the traditional IRA, they call it a backdoor Roth. You then move the money into a Roth. So you pay the taxes when you move it, but now you have that money in a Roth IRA and you get the same benefits.
Oh, that's cool, huh?
But yeah, you can put, like you said, I don't know too much about the real estate aspect when you use an IRA, but there are a lot of ways to do it. The IRA just tells the government how to tax the money. Yeah. But the vehicle that helps it grow, you can do stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate, the bank.
Yeah. For real estate, you can pull money out, use it like a bank. Right. And like you're borrowing against it, but it's like yours. So it's your own money instead of bringing a bank into it. So it's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
I want to go back to the beginning a little bit because like I feel like people are watching you and they're like, this kid was never shy. This guy was never shy. Like, I feel like the door started opening for you, maybe like just being comfortable and talking to people, right? When you got involved with Primerica, though.
Correct.
And it's because you went through a lot of people probably, right? Yep. You did many interviews, talked to a lot of people, you coached a lot of students. Yeah. Like even partners that you worked with. Yep. Like, did that take time?
Yeah. So for me, people that become very successful in Primerica quickly, they have a great market of people, right? Because it's when you actually sit down and see and understand what we do, it's very likely you're going to be a client or you're going to join our team or both, because it makes so much sense.
Yeah. Hey, you're good, Emmett. That's Emmett.
Who's that?
Emmett.
Does he run the office? Or?
He's like the coach for all the coaches.
Oh, nice.
Super cool guy. I love him. He's awesome.
Cool.
But yeah, I guess you didn't know we were here. I didn't know. I told Teresa. It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So I didn't know a lot of people. You know that from my story.
Yes.
But I saw it, again, I read Think and Grow Rich. I developed a little bit more of a belief at that point because I worked my way up in the restaurant industry. And so I knew I could do this, and I knew I had to do it if I was going to have a family one day and if I was going to be there for them and live the life I wanted to live. So all that helped me go through what I needed to do to be successful. And it's crazy because like, I don't consider myself successful yet, like not compared to where I want to be at all. The success I consider that I have now is when I think of who I was 5 and 10 years ago and who I am now as a person. And the way it started for me was, since I didn't have a lot of people, I literally just put myself out there and I would go talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I would literally go out for 8 hours to exchange phone numbers with 10 people. Just imagine a day of 8 hours talking to people, being so uncomfortable, just like approaching a random person in a random way.
No, man, I went through
So
it.
you did. Yeah, okay.
Ventures,
That's right. When you were on World Ventures.
World Ventures, I was in IML Academy. When I was 16, I was introduced to network marketing because I didn't have the money. My mom is my core believer, the person who believed in me the most.
Yeah.
She saw that I came home excited at 16 years old. I got presented to an opportunity called Vima. Do you remember that
I
company?
remember Vima, yep.
It created so many people now till this day, that are doing huge in other industries and even in network marketing.
Yeah.
Alex Moore and a lot of people. I came home, I'm like, Mom, I want to join this thing. It's $500. I don't have the money. She's like, my dad's like, no, don't do it. It's one of those things.
Right.
Now my dad is so much more open-minded, but before he was so close-minded. My mom's like, let him do it. And she knew I was going to fail, I think.
Yeah.
Because I did it. I did everything I had to do. I invited a ton of people.
Yeah.
I had my first event. A speaker came to speak for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Use them to leverage. And I was just there. I hosted it a little bit. I was like, hey, on Evadrum, blah, blah, this is what I want to do with the thing.
Yeah.
Nobody signed up, even though I had 20 people.
Yeah.
Even though the odds were in my favor, at least 1 or 2 would get started. Nobody got started. And it's fine. Years later, World Ventures at 2021, grew a team with my partner, Gary.
Okay.
From like just us two to like 30, 40 people. And I thought that was cool. Yeah. We came into IML, and grew a team of like 15 to like 150. And now looking...
What's IML?
IML, it's like IM Academy.
Is that, you're doing that right now still?
No, I'm not doing that right now. But it introduced me to trading, the stock market, options trading. And introduced me to all that. It taught me about supply and demand and how that's basically correlates with everything. Yeah. Literally, like whether it's real estate, anything, I know all businesses. There's seasons. It introduced me to personal development, Jim Brown, building your network marketing business. Like, yeah, I love network marketing. I don't like when people talk bad about it. I don't use the word hate, but I just hate when people talk bad about it. It's like, dude, these people are trying to improve their life, better their life, and odds are they will improve their life. Right. You're a testimony to that. Yeah. So like I said, I've seen this guy for so many years, and pure admiration, bro. So yeah, thank you for coming again. Yeah, man. But yeah, where were we?
We were talking about I think back to this. Talking to people. Yeah. Just that's what it was, because I believed I wanted to get here. So I was like, in order to get here, you've got to be good at talking to people. So it was kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. By putting myself out there, talking to people, I was getting contacts. But not only getting contacts, again, the more important part is that I was growing as a person. Yes. Somebody that couldn't converse with people, like at the beginning, 8 hours of torture to find 10 people became 2 hours, and 1 hour some days to get 10 numbers. So, and it wasn't just about getting numbers, it was about talking to people. And then through those numbers become people that you actually develop relationships with. And then it just, it's a game changer.
And at the end of the day, you're like helping these people. Right. In different ways. Like, yes, we can reach your financial independence number, your goal, your money. Right. But also they're going to become a better person.
100%.
Did you ever get like coming back to like your loved ones or your friends? Like who are like, what happened to you? Like, you ever get those? Yeah. Like, dude, I liked you better when you were.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that I had, like I said, I had solid relationships with people in high school, and those, it's not like we ever want to, like, it just kind of faded, because I was so focused on what I needed to do to be successful for my future, that the reality is that it takes a lot. Even though you control your time, right, you still have to choose to do the right things with your time, right? So as I needed to be out 8 hours a day to meet people, Like, when am I going to have time? I had a girlfriend too. We're married now, Brandy, and we got 3 beautiful kids. And now, like, that's another thing that I got to schedule that in.
Mm-hmm.
So just through this kind of process, it's not like you're like saying, screw you guys, but a lot of times what it takes to become successful, that's all you have time for.
Yeah.
And then, but through that process, you're going to develop relationships there, and it's going to be people that are focused on the same kind of goal, that want to have a dream life, that want to do something great. Like, everyone that I'm surrounded with now, we all know that we're going to be at this point in our life where we're going to be traveling the world together. We're going to be doing like everything that we want to do, and we're doing it together, which is cool.
Do you have like your own house right now?
Yeah.
You have the title, your title in Primerica. What is it?
Regional leader.
Regional leader?
Yeah.
Because I know there's like certain ones. I know some people know in Primerica. Super awesome people.
Yeah.
That's cool. Can you say like how much like your residual is for like just the team building?
Residual, we're
or
up
like
to
however it works.
Yeah. So residual income total right now, we've got between there's like 3 different aspects of it. So we're at like $3,200 a month.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
pure
cool.
Residual. So
yeah, but that's not easy.
Yeah. No, it's not. It takes work, and that's not just Primerica. That's other investments we have and other things that me and my wife are doing. But that's what we have coming in residually, and then we got money tied up in different investments too.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
that's cool. Would you buy more like investment properties in the future?
Yes, not in the near future, but that's something that we'll do eventually.
I've been working a lot on I've been working on finding a way to make me a little different than many real estate agents. Right now we have an influx of realtors in the state of New Jersey, and I think in the United States as a whole. But and everybody like the realtor, the average realtor, what they'll do is like they'll help you buy a house, they'll help you list a house. I've been learning a lot about the investing side of it,
right?
Because it's so completely different. As agents, we're basically service providers.
Yep.
Oh, we're just helping people, guiding people. And that's super important. It's valuable. That's why we need realtors.
Yeah.
But investors, what they do, they're actually involved in real estate, and there's different ways to acquire property.
Okay.
That's not traditional means. So, for example, there's things like seller finance, acquiring property subject to the existing mortgage. So basically, what I'm saying is like, right now I'm working with. I'm building a list of working with a lot of investors who would like to buy properties. And have you ever heard of wholesaling?
Yeah.
So
I don't know exactly what it is, but
yeah. So I've been working with wholesalers.
Okay.
My friend AJ he was in my podcast actually.
Nice.
He's been for 6 years wholesaling, real estate investing, but he works the power of mentors.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions I have for him.
Yeah.
He found two mentors, and now they have a team of 5. And they have over 60, 70 properties right now. And they invest them, they wholesale them, they fix and flip them.
Yeah.
So if you ever would like, discounted properties, I got you.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. 100%.
That was my pitch.
Yeah. No, definitely. We'll keep you in mind for sure. Yeah. We have 2 investments right now that we have most of our money tied up in, but absolutely. I'm always looking for ways to invest. So
yeah, definitely.
Keep you in mind for sure.
Yeah, 100%. What's it called? Your mentors, like, did you have mentors growing up or no?
My dad, he was like, obviously, I don't know if everyone thinks their dad is the best dad, but like, when we were kids, this is how I knew that the most important thing to me was to be a good father, was because the way my dad was with us. He worked a job most of his life that he did not like. But when it came to fatherhood, like, he was present. All the kids came to our house in the neighborhood. He was playing with I picture like 50 kids in our yard, even though it was probably like 10.
Really?
And he was he was very present. I never saw another dad growing up that was as present as he was with us. So that, as far as that part of my life, he's been, the most important thing, because I always, I don't know how often you talk to people that have kids, but when you've got 3 kids and you're busting your butt in business and you're doing you got to be there for your wife too. Like, everything requires time and attention. So there's some times where they want to play and it's like, I'm home and I feel like I can't even move.
Yeah.
But I would it like replays in my mind that if my dad was able to go to a job for his whole life that he didn't like, right, to support us, and then still have time to be there and like spend the time and use the energy. It helps you kind of get up and take that next step, you know? So my dad, family wise, was the best. When it comes to my spiritual beliefs, I have a really awesome pastor. He's actually the pastor of the New York Jets, which is pretty cool. He used to play for the Flyers. And I didn't grow up Christian, or, you know, I believed in God, but I didn't really know why or much about it. But he does such a good job at bringing the Bible into relatable terms, like into the real world. Do you read the Bible at all?
No, but
No.
I Google a lot of quotes.
Okay.
Because I love the stuff that it teaches.
Yeah.
There's like seeking, knock on the door, seeking you shall find.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of, there's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot
it's
in
wisdom, literally.
100%.
Like
but if you go ahead, sorry.
My favorite thing about what's it called? There's like God, King Solomon, like he asked God for, like, he didn't ask God for more money. Like, I think he was in trouble or something. Yep. He didn't ask God for more money. He asked him for more wisdom.
Yep.
God gave him the wisdom, and all the money and riches they came about.
Yeah, 100%.
I forgot the exact saying, but I love that quote.
I'm not good with quotes. If you asked me to quote the Bible right now, I probably couldn't tell you one quote. But that was it for, like, so I would try to read the Bible, and it's just like, I don't even know what I'm reading. Mm-hmm. But when I went to his sermons, he's just like a real dude. He tells it how it is. Hockey player, very, like, you feel like another human being is talking to you about life, not like a preacher just reading from a Bible.
Yeah, 100%.
So he helped me kind of believe that, or see that you could be a believer and you could be a Christ follower. Like, I could never relate to it. So I was like, is this not for me? But because of him, it kind of helped me dive deeper. And then the more you read the Bible, and when you have someone teaching it to you in human terms, the more you understand it.
Definitely.
And then business, I got a bunch of mentors in Primerica, just some that I work with personally now, and then some that you just listen to on audios.
Yeah.
You know, those are mentors there too. One guy that stands out that I've never actually met yet, this guy called, his name's Chris Koob, and he makes almost $3 million a year passively. And he was like me in a sense, where his first 50 appointments, he didn't close a single thing. So who's gonna keep doing something after not closing on 50 appointments? Not many people. He used to drive to clients' houses, and he would be excited when they weren't there because he didn't have to do the presentation.
Oh, that's funny.
And that was me. That was me. And and when I heard him say that, so the reason it's so important to self-develop and listen to things is because when I was going through dark times in my business and, you know, lack of belief, is this going to work? Am I ever going to make it? When you hear things like that, like when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, it's not just me. Yeah. I had never heard, like, I felt like there was something wrong with me, which there kind of is in a way for that. But like, the whole idea was, when I heard that, it changed everything. It just helped me keep going.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to get into that stuff.
It's super important because basically you're being brainwashed.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing. Your mind's dirty.
Right.
I used to tell people all the time, like, sometimes I would occasionally get that, oh, you know, they're trying to brainwash you and stuff, joining one of these things, but it's like, dude, your mind is dirty. You need to, like, reprogram it constantly.
Yeah.
Like, your subconscious mind, you know, brings about the conscious, and you need to, like, constantly just feed it. That's why books are important. Like, I read now a lot.
Yeah.
Since, like, I got involved with that, network marketing. And what's, like, your favorite book aside from the Bible?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of a cop out. I got to go with Think and Grow Rich purely because it started everything.
Yeah.
And I think you can't go wrong starting with that book. It does a really good job at telling stories, even though it's very, you know, it was written in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
I read it. I was never a reader, but I was able to kind of pick it up. And for some reason, it's funny. My dad too, he handed me the book. Oh. And he's as great of a dad as he is. He used to be very closed-minded, not as much now, but I remember the words he said to me. He's like, I think you should read this. It didn't work for me, but it might work for you. And I was like, what? Okay. And for whatever reason, even though he put it that way, I still decided to read it. And it helped me believe and changed everything.
My first financial independence book I ever read was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay, yeah.
I bought that book in bulks and give it out to friends. Like, even though I know a lot of these people are not going to read it, I'm like, I need you to have this. One day, 10 years from now, you just get the inspiration to just pick it up. You see something on YouTube, something's wrong in your life.
Yeah.
Pick that book up.
Yeah.
And I do a little note from Adrian, you know, your cousin, your friend.
That's
whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've given that book to a lot of people. Like, because again, it's like relationship building.
Yeah.
even though I haven't been involved in network marketing for 2 years, which is, to me, it's everything is sales, right?
Right.
It's all sales. Like, that's where I learned everything I know now today with sales and stuff. Even though I wasn't selling anything, even though I kind of was with the pizzeria, I'm always bringing customers, trying to find people there.
Yeah.
I always knew I was going to do sales again, and I just didn't know what it was going to be. I was always open to network marketing. I'm open to anything, honestly, if it makes sense and I'm into it.
Yeah.
I've been getting my real estate license. I got my license, and I'm here today. So
nice, man.
I built a funnel. I've been contacting a lot of people, and it's going well.
Cool.
It's going very well.
Good for you. It's funny you said that about the books. I did the same thing with Think and Grow Rich. I got a box. And I handed them out. And, no one took, like, I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, they're laughing at you.
But I got that from my friend, I can't even take credit for me wanting to do that because my friend, he was the first person who ever gave me, another dude giving me a book. And I'm like, oh, okay, But he's the only person who really thought more highly of me than I did of myself. And I think that's the power of mentors. Like, mentors, like, if somebody sees something in you, like the guy who, when you were washing dishes. And then he prepped you up to, like, he saw, you said it yourself, he saw something in you. Right. And he was like, oh, this kid could be better. Yeah. Or this kid can do more, or he will do more. Yeah. Like, I feel like people need that, though, sometimes. Because I feel like if he never did that to me, we would stay up to 4 or 5 in the morning in his car listening to Jim Rohn. Yeah, that's awesome. And for a whole summer, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I could be going out with friends, girls, like, smoking, doing dumb stuff. So I think that's important. That's huge. He gave me my first book, signed it. It's The Compound Effect by Ed Hardy. Now,
who is he? This mentor or friend of yours? Is he one of the guys that you're still working with?
So no, he was in network marketing with me in both companies. When I was 21 and when I was like 23 or whatever, 24. Me and him always started together, build the teams and businesses together. Yeah. He was always my upline. The second time around, when he tried to recruit me for my second company, which is IM Academy, he just came to me, he sat me down, tried to do a presentation. On the second slide, I'm like, wait, I'm working with you? He's like, yeah, just sign me up. He's like, no, let me make it hard for me. I'm like, no, like, I got you, dude. That's awesome. But I used to be so close-minded. Yeah. I used to be so close-minded, but yeah, books are great. Yeah. Books are great.
I think most people are closed-minded until they come across an experience. Like, if you weren't raised with open-minded parents, which if most people are not open-minded, that means most parents aren't. Mm-hmm. So if the parents are closed-minded, what are their kids going to be, right? My dad was pretty closed-minded, but fortunately he handed me that book. If I didn't get that book, I was very closed. I just read it because he gave it to me. Mm-hmm. If I didn't read that book, when I came across, well, first of all, I never would have tried cooking. I might still be loading trucks and unloading trucks, but because of that, it put me on that path. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like you said, mentors, self-development, the whole deal.
What's like one of the biggest lessons you've learned, like, just throughout the years? Because how old are you now?
34.
34. 9 years into it.
Biggest lesson I've learned.
It could be anything. Dealing with people.
Yeah.
Maybe failures, like partners that leave.
So for me, it's that I always, obviously, with my personality type, I had a lone wolf mentality. And this was even till very recently. I'm embarrassed to say that I was trying to do Primerica, which is a team business, by myself. I had kind of in mind that, like, is anybody ever going to be as intense and focused as me? And if they weren't, I'd be kind of like, all right, well, this is what you got to do. I was not a good coach because I wasn't serving people enough. Okay. And I had this, it was actually, this was just a few months ago. I had a day because my wife took my daughters to 2 different birthday parties, which I usually go to for whatever reason. Oh, because I had to be at the church for something. And I had like 2 hours to myself for the first time that I can remember in years. It was just crazy. Like, during the day, 2 hours before I went to meet them where we were at.
What did you do in those 2 hours?
I went to a park with a pond, and I walked around, and I laid down, and I just, like, cleared my mind. And I got this word from God. It was like, treat your body like a temple and treat your team like their family. And this is really it, because you read about, like, leadership as service. Jesus, the whole thing is like he served people, but for some reason I wasn't allowing it in. But something changed. It was a few months ago where I reshifted my focus to just trying to find the right people and working more with the people that I had with me. and just serving them and being there for them. And just from that, I mean, it's been like the last few months we've just seen exponential growth. And I'm not doing a ton different throughout my day. It's just a couple days that I chose to do a couple different things instead of focusing so much again on new people. I'm carving out more time to be there for my team and see what they need.
Do you guys ever like do culture days, anything like that?
Yeah, we do once a month. We actually got one on the 17th. We kind of do we'll do like a theme, so it's like Financial Independence Day on July 17th. You know, and we have fun too. Like we have one of our mentors. We're fortunate enough to be close to him. He's one of the $1 million earners, which a lot of people who earn $1 million in Primerica don't show up or need to show up anymore. Yeah. You know, they'll be there for big events and stuff, but he's actively involved with us.
That's good. That says a lot about that.
Yeah. Oh, he's incredible. But we do this once a month, and we get a bunch of food. We do wine. Like in May, we did a bunch of tequila. Like it's like we actually have a good time with it. And people get around that vibe and that environment. And while we're having a good time, we take like 20, 30 minutes to teach something too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Roth IRAs. We'll talk about, 529 savings plans. We'll talk about insurance, the whole deal.
Yeah. So it's like a little networking event. Plus like you get a speaker. You get a
exactly.
Speaker.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What do you guys do here? Do you do anything like that?
Yeah. Throughout the day, 10 a.m., 3 to 4 days a week. During the week, they have like teachings. They have like top 20% realtors. They come in and they teach something like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like Mondays at 10 a.m. they do Emmett. He does the one that interrupted us.
Yeah.
He does contracts. Like he shows us how to read listing agreements, contracts, all types of things, how to fill things out, listings, sales rallies. Once a month we do a sales rally, like how everything's going with Keller Williams.
Nice.
And it's cool because when I got started with this agency, with this with my brokerage, in my head I'm like, okay, cool, I'm doing something different. It's not network marketing.
Yeah.
They have it's right here. Look, this is Gary Keller, the founder.
Yeah.
They always have this book in here, but
he wrote The One Thing, right?
Yeah, The
Did you
One
read
Thing.
That book? That was a
but look,
game
what is
changer.
this? What does this remind you of?
It's the same thing, right? I've seen that before with Keller Williams. I don't know how it works.
They call it profit share here.
Okay.
But what is it? It's network marketing. And,
Yeah.
And the network marketing model is used basically in everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm sure you have comebacks for all the objections.
Right.
Like the whole pyramid thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, come to my pizzeria.
Yeah.
I'll make more money than you. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's cool.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's cool that you have that little, pizzeria example. Like, oh, would you work at me?
Yeah, I used to use it all the time.
Yeah. And
Like,
people would be like,
I'll be like, oh,
right?
where do you work?
Yeah.
You can use it on anything. Like I would be like, oh, I'm a teacher. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Does your supervisor make more? Like the principal? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. I'm like, I know, but do you see? And I would paint the drawer for them.
Right. Yeah. I like to tell people, like, so just imagine if Dunkin' Donuts, right? You could start off, what if they had this program where you could start off as a cashier and you do your job well, so you go to shift leader and then you get promoted to assistant manager and then general manager. And imagine Dunkin' Donuts said that when you're a general manager, if your Dunkin' Donuts makes this much money, we're going to open you your own location.
Yeah.
Would you have a problem with that? No. That would be an awesome opportunity.
That'd be amazing.
That's exactly what we do.
It'd be smart to do, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably grow Dunkin' Donuts a lot bigger.
Yep.
So that's cool.
That's it, man. Yeah.
What's it called? Do you have maybe anything you would like to share? Like how can like people like maybe they want? I have a lot of like younger like my cousins. A lot of them watch this stuff.
Yep.
Their friends, they've been like sharing it to schools.
Oh,
and
nice.
There's a quote I read a long time ago. It's called. It says, "The mind of a child is where the revolution begins."
Yeah.
It's like
That's awesome.
Because revolution doesn't have to be violence. It could be like a revolution in your mind.
Yeah.
I heard another thing that said, correlating with this, it says, the guy, I forgot the speaker, he said, the mind of a child is where the revolution begins. And I'm drawing a blank here. Basically,
Can't help you with quotes, like I said.
No, I know.
Sorry.
Basically, he was just saying that, you impact children, you can impact them in a good or a bad way.
I agree.
So, like, what can, like, if there's kids out here just watching this, like, how can you, like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah.
Like,
so what are the ages?
Maybe
You're saying like they're sharing with high school?
teenagers. Yeah, teenagers like at like 20s, early 20s.
Well, you've got to be open-minded because most teenagers' parents are going to say, go to school, get a good job, right?
Yeah.
Get good grades, get a good job. And that could be for some people, but it's not for everybody. Like, think about how many people do you know that graduated, they graduated college with studying something and they're doing a job in a completely different field, right? And how many of those, not only is it a different field, but the job they're doing, they don't even need a degree for, right? So yeah, you just got to be open to opportunity. You got to listen to new things. You got to be smart with the opportunities. I'm not saying just try everything, but I am saying, like, try a lot of things, because a lot of people here would probably be the biggest thing as I'm talking now, is a lot of people think that you're born and you have a passion and you have to find it. And if you don't find it, well, I just never found my passion. But the reality is that your passion is going to come through putting effort into something and getting good at it. And when you get good at something, you get excited to do it. And when you're excited to do it, that's how the passion starts to grow.
True.
You're probably like, I never thought, like, I wasn't born to be in Primerica. I wasn't born to be in finance, right? As a matter of fact, if I wasn't focused on family, I know I'd be very successful in the restaurant industry right now. And I would have been very passionate about it, because I was. That passion came from hard work and constantly going through things and getting beat up and then learning and growing and learning. And I developed the passion. So when you allow yourself, one, try new things, but give yourself enough time to kind of let it play out.
To, like, get good at it.
You might not like everything right away. Like, when I even saw the first Primerica presentation, it's not like the heavens opened up. It was literally, when I started, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I don't want to cook anymore. This is it. It was the first thing I saw after I was done cooking. So it didn't change. My life wasn't changed with one presentation. My life was changed when I said, okay, let me try this. And then I worked hard at it. And after 2 months in, then I was like, I'm never doing anything else for the rest of my life. But I worked at it every day, and I gave it all my time for those 2 months. And I listened to speakers, and I learned, and I grow. And I developed a passion for Primerica.
Right.
So just make sure you're not closed-minded, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Try something, give it a solid 90 days, right? And I wouldn't say quit after 90 days either. Like, if you don't have something else on the table, see it through. But just try different things and put your work into it, because you could develop a passion for something you never thought that you'd love. I
like that advice. Grant Cardone says the best thing I ever did was getting good at something I hated. Yeah. That's a little different than this, but yeah.
No, it's the same idea. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
I can see that.
I just told, I had a recent conversation with my little cousin. He's my nephew.
Yeah.
He's 18. He's 17. He's looking for a job. His mom, he wanted a job since he was 15. His mom doesn't let him, single mom, and doesn't let him work. She's, like, overprotective of him.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't know what to do. What should I get into? And, like, I'm like, man, you should try something. Like, just try talking to people, make friends. Yeah. Somebody out there has your money. Somebody out there has an opportunity for you, but you don't know them because you don't talk to these people.
Yeah.
He's a little closed off. And I'm like, you have to just talk to people and try something. But when you're in it, stay there. Don't just quit, So
right.
It's basically what you just said, everything. You summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, good words.
Yeah. So before I let you go, man.
Yeah.
What's it called? Where can people find you?
Yep.
Like, before that, there's this big question I want to ask you. When you were young, I asked this to everybody.
Yeah.
When you were younger, did you think you would be doing what you're doing now? And a follow-up question to that is, what advice would you give to your younger self if you saw him right here in front of you, Nick?
Yeah. So just it's funny because we kind of just talked about it. No, I never saw myself doing this.
Okay.
I was lazy, shy, the whole deal. Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no direction. I had no path. And it was really a series of life events that led me to being open-minded. But I think that would be it. I mean, as my younger self, just, try new things. And there's a few things that I'm doing my best to instill in my daughters is do hard things, finish what you start, learn from your mistakes, be honest, and have fun. And I encourage them that it's not to worry about the failure. Just like it's so hard. It's so interesting with kids because you catch yourself saying things that you should never say. Like, holy crap, I should never say that. But instead of rewarding the result, rewarding the effort, right?
Instead of rewarding the result,
Reward the effort, right? Because if they're constantly, if they feel like their praise is only going to come from the result, they're going to have so much pressure to the point where some kids might thrive in that, but most kids, they're not even going to try because they're going to be afraid, right? But if you praise their effort and they know they're always going to get praised for trying their hardest, no matter what, they're always going to be trying, right? So I don't know where that came from, but for myself, I think it would just be that idea of just being open to trying new things and just give it your all when you try it.
I'm gonna remember that. I want like 10 kids, so I really love that advice.
Yeah.
Reward the effort.
Yeah,
because like they're trying at least.
right.
I think that's what my mom did with me.
Yeah,
I just never put it that way.
yeah. If you're so focused on the grades and rewarding their grade, like especially in the school system, someone's going to get C, someone's just a C student, someone's just an A because they don't fit in that system.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even send our girls to public school because of that reason. Yeah.
That's cool, man. See, I told you guys there's going to be a lot of wisdom.
Hopefully it was. Oh yeah, I'll give you my Instagram. It's Nicholas, so it's NICHOLAS.Scinto, SCINTO. Nicholas Scinto. That's on Instagram, and then my number. I give my phone number too.
Yes, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, it's 201-602-0068.
And what could people be expecting if they want to work with you?
Somebody that's gone through a lot of crap to grow as a person and develop, and somebody that now more than ever just had an epiphany that I'm going to be there to focus and coach. If they came to work with me, I'm going to be that mentor for them to help guide them to where they want to go.
And it's like a win-win scenario. Like, what do they have to bring to the table?
They got to show up, and they got to be consistent. I'm not looking for somebody to like hand their life over and drop everything they're doing and do this. I'm looking for people that are going to come in open-minded, willing to learn, and see if this is good for them.
Reachable, teachable, and coachable.
Without dragging this on, I will give one more thing that I just thought of. Like I used to try to close people on joining the business with me, and now it's just, this is who we are, this is what we do. Do you want to give it a shot?
Yeah. So
they're going to be, and I would encourage people, like I said, to make a decision to do it, to see if it's for you.
Well, I would encourage everybody to, at least take a look at it, reach out.
Yeah.
And, I can vouch because I've been seeing him for years, and this is someone who you could work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nick, thank you for coming, man. I really love this episode.
That was good. It was a good time. Thanks for having me.
Come here. Yeah, come.